In this video, I'm going to take you through the best and worst weapons offered as rewards for Oblivion's famous Daedric quests. There are 7 weapons in total, and they range from some absolute duds to arguably the best weapon in the entire game. So let's take a look together, starting at number 7 with the Sanguine Rose. This rather sad last place entry is the staff that you receive as a reward for completing Sanguine's Daedric quest. And for all of your hard work in that quest, what does Sanguine offer as a reward? A staff that summons a random Daedric monster for 20 seconds. That, wait for it, will try to kill you. On the plus side, it will try to kill other stuff too, and it can be pretty entertaining to unleash it once or twice, but overall it has minimal practical value in combat situations. The only really useful scenario I can think of is if you need to summon a distraction so that you can run away. Or I suppose you could use it at the start of a fight, providing that you're certain that the Daedric monster will die before it turns on you. Sanguine Rose also only holds 10 charges before it basically becomes a useless piece of old wood until you recharge it, and overall it's a pretty uninspiring weapon. In 6th place we have the Wabbajack, which is similar to the Sanguine Rose in 2 key ways. Number 1, it's a staff, and number 2, it's pretty much useless. The Wabbajack allows you to turn a creature or monster into another random creature or monster for 10 seconds. Which can admittedly be pretty funny when you turn a hulking ogre into a mud crab and then kill it in one hit. However, the effect is random, and aside from lucking out by turning a powerful enemy into a single hit mud crab, it isn't really going to be that much use to you. It also doesn't work on humanoids, which makes the situations you can use it in even more limited, and like the Sanguine Rose, it only holds 10 charges before it's empty. All that being said, a bad reward doesn't necessarily mean a bad quest, and Sheogorath offers arguably the most fun Daedric quest, so don't skip it just because the Wabbajack is Wabbacack. The Skull of Corruption has managed to sneak its way into 5th place, not because it's great, but mostly because the 2 weapons before it are so lackluster. Once again, it's a staff, but don't worry, we are going to get onto chunky pieces of metal next, and in this case the staff is rewarded for completing Vaymina's Daedric quest. What does the staff do? Well, it allows you to create a clone of any humanoid, and that clone will then fight the humanoid for 30 seconds. To be fair, this is pretty hilarious and can cause all kinds of carnage in the cities. Like watching this poor unexpecting guy here defeat his surprise doppelganger only to get stomped by a group of guards. As well as comedy value, it does offer a little more utility than the other 2 staffs, as it's pretty useful for kicking off some of the more challenging fights, as well as forcing NPCs to kill each other without you getting the blame. And I guess as a distraction if you need it. It's very situational, but it's better than the other 2 staffs, hence its place at number 5. Coming in 4th place is the Mace of Molag Bal, which is a pretty solid weapon, with its 25 base damage making it slightly more powerful than Daedric maces, which are the most powerful standard tier of maces available. You can complete Molag Bal's quest at level 17, at which level this mace offers significantly more base damage than the other available weapons. However, it is let down a little by the fact that it's bugged, and one of the 2 effects on it doesn't actually work. For whatever reason, it doesn't apply its absorb strength effect, which takes it out of the running for one of the best one-handed weapons in the game. Overall though, it's a pretty solid weapon, and it's well worth picking up, especially if you have a high skill in blunt weapons around the time that the quest becomes available, which is level 17. However, as you're about to see, there are a couple of weapons on this list that are always going to make Molag Bal's mace a 2nd tier choice. Creeping in at 3rd place, we have Volendrung, the 2-handed mace that if you get as soon as Malakath's quest becomes available at level 10, dishes out some serious hurt. It's competitive with other maces that are available at level 10 in terms of base damage, but the real strength of Volendrung comes from its paralysis effect, which can basically render an enemy useless for an entire fight. It offers a 3-second spammable paralysis that's pretty spectacular for taking down particularly tough enemies. The serious limitation though is that it only has 16 charges, so is pretty much only going to be good for a single engagement at a higher difficulty, but nonetheless is going to carry that fight hard. And as a bonus, it makes it pretty embarrassing for your poor enemy who's stuck trying to clamber up off the floor for the entire fight. Unfortunately, it does start to lose its edge as you level up, as there are more powerful warhammers that start to become available to you pretty quickly as normal loot. Overall though, it's a solid item for its level, and it actually has a really strong niche for high difficulty encounters around that level, making it well worth picking up. In 2nd place we have the famous Ebony Blade, which is rewarded by Mephala after completing her Daedric quest. This item can't be acquired until level 15, but its base damage is scaled between Ebony and Daedric longswords, which you can't actually loot until levels 16 and 20 respectively. And this makes it a very hard hitting item for the level that it comes available. However, the true beauty of the Ebony Blade is that it actually silences the target for 10 seconds on hit, which makes it probably the best non-custom weapon in the game to use against spellcasters. On top of that, it even has an additional absorb health effect for some extra survivability. This one is definitely worth picking up the moment you hit level 15, and it's likely not going to be replaced until level 20. And the only reason you're going to be replacing it at level 20 is because you're going to be picking up the #1 Daedric weapon on our list, the legendary Goldbrand. Not only is Goldbrand by far the strongest weapon rewarded for a Daedric quest, it's also a competitor for the best weapon in the entire game. This incredibly powerful longsword is offered to those who complete Boethiah's Daedric quest, which can be picked up, as I said, at level 20. Its base damage is scaled to be stronger than Daedric longswords, and again, Daedric items are the top tier of base weapons available in the game, and it also unleashes a good chunk of fire damage on every hit. And the icing on the cake is that it has a really fast swing speed, so that fire effect is working overtime, and it allows Goldbrand to make quick work of even the toughest enemies. It also has 76 charges, so it's not constantly running out like some of the lower ranked weapons in this video. Basically, Goldbrand absolutely slaps, it's easily the best Daedric weapon, and it's a contender for the best weapon in the game. If you don't pick it up for any build involving melee, then you're missing out. And that's the end of our list. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe consider subscribing to the channel for more, and it also really helps if you click the bell notification if you want to be informed when I put out a new video. Either way, have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.